It's Connor here, MTM.tv. We're backstage and we're in the press tent in the guest area. I'm joined with Mike Righteous, Margate rapper. How's your Reading and Leeds experience been so far, mate?
Yeah, it's a new experience. I really enjoyed it. No complaints so far. Yeah, it's great. It's been great. It's been wicked.
And in terms of like the crowd at Reading and stuff, what kind of audience, what kind of reception did you receive? Was it to your expectations and stuff?
I wasn't expecting a massive response, but I knew there was going to be a lot of fans there because the Twitter and stuff had gone mad. Like before, usually we get bookings for a show, and like a few people tweet about, yeah, I can't wait to see you there. This time we got like when we announced we was at Reading and Leeds, it literally popped off like there was mass like messages and like, oh, we're going to be there, we're going to be there. So even had that happen, like I still expected the worst. I didn't expect it to be. There might have been a few hundred people, but literally, I walked out there and there was thousands of people all screaming. So it was by far the best performance I've done so far. Full stop, I reckon.
Pretty good then.
In terms of like the energy and the crowd response, you know.
Yeah. Because it must be a very different vibe, obviously, coming from doing freestyles on the street in front of cameras and stuff for different channels, and then moving from that to doing a festival on stage. You know, somewhere in a massive field. Is there something distinct about a festival that you don't get when you're performing, say, in London and other places where it's more urban?
Yeah, you don't get covered in mud, and but I think they treat us. They do treat you a lot better here, I guess. Yeah. You know, you get your own little spot to chill, and like they sort you out all your drinks, and everything's good, and everyone's nice. Everyone's in a good mood, especially when the sun's out. That helps. That does help a lot. But yeah, it's a lot different to just doing them little shows here and there. But it's a constant build, you know. Yeah. You come from doing a show where there's 5 people there to come to doing this, and it's just that thing of like you know what you need to do because it's right there in front of you. The blueprint's there. You know what I mean? You know, if you work hard, you can go from a 5-man show to a 5,000-man show. Like last night when I was watching Eminem on stage, I just think there was a time when he didn't just come out of nowhere and start performing there. So there was a time when he was performing to only 2 people. He even says it in his songs. He was thrown out, booed off stage, but he kept rhyming a step right in the next cipher. All them bars, like it's true. It really is true. Like you work hard, and inevitably good things happen to you.
Talk about like working hard and stuff. I mean, at the beginning, at the like preliminary stages of what you were doing, were you kind of plugging it all yourself? Were you getting a Twitter? I mean, was it all like DIY? How was it? Did you find it hard at first to kind of get your music to an audience? Or was it quite like a scary challenge, or did you find it was fine? Are you confident about it?
I've always said like the hardest part of becoming an established like musician, I guess, or an established writer or MC or whatever, is that initial getting your voice out there and getting the first bit of recognition. Yeah. But luckily we've got the SBTV outlets and the platforms like that. So when I get the chance to do a freestyle on SBTV, I make sure it is gonna blow people away and it's gonna stand out. And with like, as much as I don't really like social networks, like they do help build your fan base, and you can keep an eye on like the how it's going and how it's all moving. And people always think that, you know, they get to a point where they must think this is impossible. You know what I mean? I'm doing what I love to do, and like it's just not really getting me nowhere. And I know people get to that point because I've been there, and I thought, like, I know my mixtape like campaign, without blowing my own smoke because I hate to do that, but the effort that I put into the songs and the writing and like the music and the actual words, like, is beyond like what we hear in the charts. I know because like I feel it, and I've studied rap, and I know what like artists like Eminem and artists like Nas and DMX, and I grew up listening to these people, so these people were inevitably rubbed off on me.
People who have kind of come from basically not a lot and they've had a struggle, do you think that's something that is an appeal for a lot of young people and they can kind of relate to it? Do you think that's why rap like now has had such an impact?
Yeah, 100%. But I think it's reached like a turnaround point. We're working swinging roundabouts. Like when I grew up in that era of hip hop, when hip hop was still, you know, what hip hop actually should be, which is like a voice for oppression. You know what I mean? Because that's where it originated from. So now it's come back to that point where people have, in my opinion, this is my opinion, that people have got bored of like that typical rap that we're used to hearing, that we've heard for the last however many years. And it's got back to that point where now we're looking for more substance in lyrics. So when people like Kendrick Lamar come out, now people are hanging on to every word he says because it's different and he's really talking about something. And he could even be talking about what these other rappers have been talking about this whole time, but because he's doing it differently, people can relate to that.
For the rest of the year and the following year, have you got any releases, anything coming out that we can look out for?
Yeah, I mean, at the moment, there's a lot of work out there that I think people haven't really listened to, so it's good to remind them that that's there. So I've still got my first 2 mixtapes, which I'm happy for people to go back and listen to, because that's still me, and it will show a progression in me as an artist. Like my first mixtape, Yob Culture, Campaign, Open Mic. Now my new stuff's ready. I'm already working on the stuff to come after that. So by the time my new album, LP, EP, whatever it is comes out, I'd already had the next project to back it up.
You mentioned like LP. Would you ever think of releasing on vinyl, for example? Digital as well.
Do you think people play vinyls anymore? I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
A few people whether or not they feel it's sad that physical element is gone, but
that is quite sad, because my brother used to DJ, and that's when I proper loved rap, when I used to see him scratch. As I say, this is why social media and like the internet and the digital world, as much as I really want to like crush it in this palm of my hand, I want to like lick it with this one.
Yeah, it's kind of like,
which is quite weird.
Yeah, it's kind of a love and hate relationship.
Yeah, it is.
New artists trying to get where you are now, or trying to build themselves up, what do you think the best piece of advice is that you could give them when they're just starting out?
Make sure you're actually not just doing it because everyone else is, and if you're genuinely doing it for the right reasons, then it's cliche and it's an old saying, but it's only an old saying because it's been said over and over again, and because it's the truth. And the truth is, you work hard and it pays off, and that's what my belief system's always been. Surround yourself with good people, work hard, believe in yourself. It's all cliche, but it's all there. The proof's in the pudding.
Sometimes cliché is the best.
It is, yeah, it is.
It's been Connor Mew, Mike Crisis here, MTM.tv, Leeds Festival.